Welcome to the Cafe Night Show. I'm your host, Goldsmith. It is the ninth month, fourth day. There you go, 4th of September, 2024. And another day, or one of those days, I should say, that we don't get any Upland news. Was asked the question, got the answer. And I guess one of the things that's popping up and jumping into the topic of discussion as of today is Upland's use of pop-ups for announcements in the game of Upland, causing some confusion. We'll get into what that confusion looks like. I've seen this number of times, overlapping and delayed announcements, as well as announcements that apply to some people, but not everybody. And the way they show up may be causing some confusion among those that they don't apply to. So we'll get into that and those announcements. Taking a look at a couple other things as well, just because we are one day out from many of the payouts. Reminder that we did have some payouts here for the earned Sparklet. Again, as a bonus with a gamified earnings. And we talked about it yesterday. I'll talk about it again just because it continues to be a topic. Why did I get less than him, even though blank reason? I got the same multiplier. Why do I get less? I may have had more Sparklet I've earned in the past. Why did I get less than this other guy? We'll get into the specifics of that again in just a little bit of a broad strokes. We did have a sale. We are having a sale for the Stock Car Pro Series cars. So again, a dovetail or a tied sale for the Stock Car Pro Series bundles. And then I think that's where we are right now. We are kind of headed towards the end of Sizzle season. Along with that, we have another snapshot, just like we just had, another snapshot with some more airdrops coming. So that is always a good one, a good thing to keep in mind. And of course, the end of Sizzle season that is coming up in 2 weeks, just under, I should say, is also going to signal the end of any of the ongoing contests during Sizzle season, where we are going to be having the opportunity to potentially win some prizes from the structure ornament contest, as well as for the racing seasons. We'll get into all of that after we get the disclaimer out of the way. All views and opinions expressed by myself, they're mine alone. Should be game strategy or financial advice that represent the game of the team of Upland. Any guests or contributors who we do have on, that they have their own opinions, are welcome to them. Should be taken as game strategy advice, should be taken as financial advice that represent the game of Upland, the team of Upland, myself, the Goldsmith of the Cafe Nightly Show. Good to see you, Sixpence. Good to see you, Dobry Carr. Good evening. So, not a lot to share in terms of snapshots here, because I don't have one handy to be a good example of these pop-ups in game that are less than accurate or effective, or aren't ubiquitous. They don't apply to everybody, but they may be popping up for the person who they don't really apply for. First and foremost, we did have a spark drop or a sparklet drop based on activity during the prior season, or up until the 30th of September. There was a snapshot. 30th of August, there was a snapshot. There was a distribution, again, based on the amount of sparklet that you held prior to TGE, prior to the release of the sparklet token. That was something that most people in the game of Upland did qualify for. That is something that if you came with the game of Upland or held no sparklet prior to TGE, prior to the beginning part of July, middle part of July, I guess, when that TGE happened, when the original release of the sparklet token happened, you weren't in the game or you didn't earn any sparklet prior to that. You're not going to earn any sparklet now. Or if you earned sparklet prior to that and you took it all out of the game, you got it all the way out of the game and you sold it, you obviously don't qualify either, because you had to hold, as of the 30th of September, a percentage, if not all, of the sparklet you held at the TGE. That was a snapshot at TGE that said, how much have I earned? And earned being things that I've earned through treasure hunting, through events in the game, through daily check-in. All of that sparklet that's earned, not purchased, was snapshotted at the TGE event. And then again, on the 30th, there was a snapshot that said, how much of that did I keep in the game? And then a multiplier was applied. That multiplier based on activities during Sizzle season, specifically a list of 15 gamified earnings. The more you did, the higher the multiplier you got. you got the final amount that you getting paid out. If you didn't have, like I said, anything snapshot on TGE or anything snapshot on the 30th saying that you still had it in the game of Upland, you obviously don't qualify. And of course, if you came in the game after the TGE, if you came in the game in August, you're not going to qualify either, anyways, because you weren't part of the game. You didn't have any Sparklet when that first snapshot happened. Now, here's where the confusion happens and has happened in Upland in the past and probably will continue to happen until Upland fixes it. And that is that there are some broad messages that come up in game. Upland kind of takes these little screenshots, snapshots, pops them up in game and shows them to people. And sometimes they're a little bit misleading. And what one of the announcements that had popped up was an announcement that essentially said, you can now collect your Sparklet from the drop. And then essentially it shows the image of the Sparklet collect, and it shows a collect button. Well, that's not your opportunity to collect. You're trying to click that button. You're trying to click that button. You can't collect that button because that button's not yours and it's not your opportunity to collect. That announcement also didn't happen until the majority of the people who did receive Sparklet from that drop had already collected their Sparklet. What happened is, what does happen on these is there are batches that come out and they do get dropped. And the reminder to go and collect your Sparklet didn't happen until after majority of people had collected their Sparklet already. And it still makes it look like it's something you have an opportunity to collect Sparklet. People are saying, where's my Sparklet? Well, you probably already collected it. Or, where's my Sparklet? I see that I've got this opportunity. It's not your opportunity. It's other people's opportunity. You came in the game of Upland recently. You may not have been in the game to qualify at the time of that first snapshot. Or you came in the game. You earned Sparklet. You earned it over the course of years playing the game of Upland. You saw your opportunity to sell it. You took it out of the game. You sold it. Well, you're not going to qualify for any Sparklet. We did see some players who got things like 23 Sparklet because they took the vast majority of their Sparklet out of the game of Upland. Maybe they got stuck with a few Sparklet leftovers clinging in because they didn't sell them when they were selling the rest of the Sparklet. Whatever, however that happened, they end up with this teeny tiny little reward because even as much as the Sparklet as they had at the TGE, that second snapshot captured that they didn't have that Sparklet in the game of Upland anymore. They didn't qualify to get that bonus. So again, if you are seeing this message pop up in your game and it says, click here to claim, click to claim. If it is a pop-up, if it is a little thing on your screen that has a little announcement tied into it, these pop-up with announcements, again, it's a piece of information. It's a point of clarification. It is an opportunity for you to look in the game of Upland to see it versus a pop-up that says, congratulations, you've earned, with a single button with a little, you can't exit out of it. You can just click it to go on and essentially claim it. And that's your only option. You have to claim it to continue on in the game. And that's kind of where you hit that difference is you have the clickable green button in the middle that says collect or claim. You click that collect or claim button and you receive the reward. If you press that click and claim button and you can't get it pushed, and there doesn't seem to be a button there, but there's an image of a button, you more than likely are looking at an announcement. The language that's there with the announcement is going to be obviously there to help you and be more clear, where it tells you specifically you have an opportunity, check your game, check your account. Those are all going to be there, usually to give you that point of information or that context that this is not that actual claim link. This is just a reference to go and look for it. And in terms of the idea of the further confusion on this, as I kind of already said, if you didn't earn it, you didn't earn it. People who didn't earn it have a message that essentially says, broadly, congratulations, all these payouts have gone out. Check for yours. And they may not have seen one. They may not have seen one because they didn't qualify and they didn't earn. And the language continues to make it look like they should be looking for one. And obviously, that is a little bit of a broad statement, confusing the limited number of people who don't qualify. And again, the fact that it happened after most people collected, some people were looking for a second bonus. Hey, I got one bonus. Where's my other one? Or It says I've got another bonus. Where's my other bonus? Don't have one. You're going to have to wait until after the 15th of September. That's when the snapshot's going to be. A few days afterwards, we'll have another drop. And of course, that means you still have the opportunity to complete more of the gamified earning tasks on the Sizzle Season board to get there. So if you only had a multiplier of 2 point whatever this time around, because you only had to complete a blank number of tasks, you have the opportunity to get in there, continue to complete more tasks, and get a higher payout this coming time than you did this time. Two things to note on this, I do want to point out. It does look like, to the best of our knowledge, that Upland is doing a distributive pay, which means the pooling amount is probably the same for each of the 6 payouts. Again, 2 for each season. So we had one already when Sizzle Season. We already had one payout on the 30th snapshot with it happened a few days afterwards into September. We're going to have the 15th of September, another snapshot with a payout shortly thereafter. And then next season, we're going to have the same pattern, 30th, 15th. Next season, same pattern, 30th, 15th. Same thing there. The higher your multiplier, the more you're going to get overall. Now, here is a quick note, just to make it easier before people get really, really butthurt about this or really, really concerned. Ultimately, it is possible that you could, if you had a high payout before, a high multiplier before, it is possible that you could get less in the second payout. And that is because even if these are truly evenly distributed payouts for the 6 seasons, and it's the same amount that goes out each season, if you were at the highest multiplier and overall more people move to a higher multiplier, the pool may get distributed in a more broad way, and there may be more people who are on the same tier multiplier as you are, even though you start with the same essentially the same base, same TGE base. You may have not taken anything out of the game of Upland. If there's more people at the same or similar distribution level to you, you could see that the overall payout comes down a little bit because there's more overall points in the quote-unquote points in the pool, and you have the same amount of points you had before, which means overall your payout might be lower. However, if you were not all the way maxed out at the highest multiplier and you do more, you very well could see a higher payout this coming payout again after the snapshot of the 15th into the couple days following, when that next payout for the gamified earnings, or more realistically, this delayed airdrop. And, just as a clarification, I've already heard people complain about it, but the reason why this is set up this way, we've talked about people who are new, who aren't getting this. We've talked about people who've chosen to take Sparklet out of the game, who aren't getting this airdrop. Ultimately, the reason that airdrop exists in the first place was to reward people based on the fact that they earned Sparklet at a time when Sparklet was valued higher, at least by the game of Upland, to reward those people for having that Sparklet in the game of Upland or having earned it, and then keeping it in the game of Upland. If you've already taken it out of the game to cash out, to sell out, because you didn't want to have Sparklet, well, you're not going to get that reward because you're not one of the people who kept that value in the game of Upland. We talked about the fact that there was bonuses and rewards for people bridging Sparklet out and bridging Sparklet in, and there was rewards for people staking Sparklet, all while the TGE was happening, or help to facilitate the original release of the coin, and that was lucrative for a lot of people. However, this is also lucrative for a lot of people, which is Upland wants Sparklet to stay in its native habitat, which is Upland, and to continue to be used in staking and in usage and in building structures, and plenty of opportunities to use that Sparklet. And ultimately, if you're one of the people who kept in the game of Upland, Upland is rewarding you for doing just that. And it's an incentive to keep that Sparklet in the game of Upland for the next 4 months. It's a great opportunity to do so. We've got a number of reasons why to take Sparklet out of the game of Upland, potentially selling it and taking it out of the game, being prepared for some swap event or whatever the case is. But we have a lot of reasons to keep it in the game for 4 months, and that is these rewards that are going out. So that's kind of where we're balanced on that precipice for now. So keep in mind that this is going to be something we do have for the next 4 months. Like I said, we have one more payout this season, Sizzle season, and we have 2 in the following season and 2 in the following. Over 4 months, over 4 months of continuing to get paid out for keeping the sparklet in the game of Upwind, and with multipliers, participating in the seasoned tasks, the tasks that are set out for each season, the gamified earnings that are right there to also help justify or help push you to the 14.7 gamified bonus earnings on your dividends as well. So it is a stacked or a layered opportunity there. So keep it up and enjoy the benefits of putting the effort in there. We do have, like I said, a couple other things as we do continue on Sizzle season. When we did start Sizzle season earlier, well, I should say until last month. I know we're in September now, but when we started Sizzle season in August, we had a couple things come up that ultimately are similar or about the same as previous seasons. We did have the announcement that we were going to have gamified earnings. We did have the announcement about the ornaments, the structural ornament contest, and the prizes therein. And obviously, in Sizzle season, we also get gamified racing or rewards for racing. So those are all things that are tied in here. We know that Upwind Sizzle season racing championship, again, we're headed to the end of the season. So qualifying points are still available now. Why not actually share the screen, because we can, but qualifying points are still available, so that's something if you're participating in, you can continue to participate in. This is Upwind Sizzle season 2024 race season, full throttle towards the championship. We do see that we have these new to this season burnable power-ups to affect the outcome or affect the racing of your car during that specific race. We do know that we have leaderboards again closing this coming Wednesday. Wow, we are getting there, aren't we? This coming Wednesday, next week, Wednesday, September 11th at 9 a.m. PT. The leading top racers on each leaderboard will be awarded prizes. The top racers on the Championship Series leaderboard will go into the finals on Friday, September 13th. Ooh la la. We do have a Friday the 13th this month. Look at that. At 11:30 a.m. PT, that's when those races are going to kick off. 2 semifinals race and a final. So this is another part of that season rundown of continue on with the season for Sizzle season. This is what we had, and we also look at a structural ornament contest. Keep it in mind, if you don't care about Sparklet and you didn't earn any from the TGE, there's still the incentive to do the overarching gamified earnings to increase your payout for the next season for your dividends. So keep that in mind. It is worth doing if you could have enough properties in the game, or you have any properties in the game, and you want to get the maximum amount of dividends from those properties. And then finally, let's take one more look forward as well. And obviously, one more look forward on this is, oh my gosh, we're almost there. You've got a little time left. And if you've been putting in the effort, you've been losing the sleep, you only have a few days to do it. And that is your totems. Totems are finishing up here. If you start your totem right as we were starting things off, right as the first opportunities to get totem started opened, you've got less than a week left. If you wait a little bit to get started, you might have just a little bit more than a week left. If you weren't careful and you didn't do things just perfectly, you have no time left because you murdered your poor defenseless little totems. And that is a reality. Again, this is the second of the cycles. We were told that there was going to be a minimum of 5. Picasso, good to see you. A minimum of 5 of these cycles. So we'll keep our eyes open. 3 of them are a month each. The last 2 may or may not be the same length. They may be a shorter length. We don't know. But at this point, we did have our first almost 10 months before we had our second kickoff. So does that mean we're waiting 10 months? Does that mean we're waiting 3? We don't know, so keep that in mind. But we are finishing things off with this current totem cycle that will be ending the next several days. So keep your eyes out. Keep on going. If you've put the effort in so far, keep putting the effort in. A lot of totems pay out their maximum amounts. towards the end of the month. Some of them pay earlier. And again, it's just your opportunity. If you keep following it through, that you're going to get the most payout you could possibly get for some of their totems, not all, some of the totems, by continuing the effort towards the end of the month all the way to the last day. All right. And I want to touch on one more thing, and this is call it self-promoting, call it not. It really isn't. This is the idea of community. This is the idea of events. This is the idea of Upland being more than a little llama icon on your cell phone. The idea that Upland is supposed to be a metaverse, and as a metaverse space, or space in the overall metaverse, it is about the potential of interpersonal connections, about being able to conduct business, which we continue to see with meta ventures, with assets being created, with people being able to buy and sell properties, but also that idea of community, the connect, earn, yeah, there we go. The idea that we can actually connect, we can actually have those relationships with people. And with that, we do have these ideas. We have these opportunities to have these meetups and these in-person events and these online events. And something I've been working on this summer is the 2024 East Coast, again, community-led East Coast. Community-led East Coast. I think we got that right. Meetup that will be happening this coming 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Do the math. Saturday in 3 weeks, I believe. That is going to be the 27th and the 28th of September. 27th, we do have a meetup on Friday at, I believe we're starting things off at 7 p.m. Dave & Buster's in Philadelphia. More details of that are available. If you do have questions, let me know. We do have a Discord set up as well. And then on the 28th, we are doing a semi-official, non-official, maybe official, we don't know. Wait until Upland guarantees us the Block Explorer they might give us. Tour of Philadelphia. Ooh, in person. So an Upland tour in person. We'll see a little bit about some GPS tagging. See how we can make that all work out. But potentially with a reward attached as well. So do want to see that. I do like the idea that Upland has this idea or this little basis on geography, that this has been something that we've seen in Upland for a long time, celebration of events and places that matter inside of a city. Love to carry that idea over. We have something put together with a walking tour, so limited need to use any vehicles, but getting to a number of spots that have a part or play a part in the history of the city of Philadelphia, which again was the original, birthplace, the original seat of power, the original federal seat of power in the United States. So interesting history there, of course, but also a lot of pertinent contemporary cultures. Get into that as well when we do that tour. So looking forward to that very much myself. And that is something that if you are in the Philadelphia area, if you are able to travel, if you are somebody who lives along a route that other people are traveling through to get to Philadelphia, you might have the opportunity to go and meet some other Uplanders. So we're looking forward to seeing everybody again. If we want more details, if you want more details, please let us know. I say kind of kid about semi-official. I know I may have some more news on that in the not so distant future. That's only partially kidding about what we can do, or what Upland's able to do to maybe make a meetup special, especially since we're going to be trying to get as many people there as possible, but also celebrate Upland in an interesting way, as much as we can. But for tonight, thank you so much for being here Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. PT. We do try to get it together, review the news in Upland, and put it out in a way that is usually discernible, maybe a little easier to digest than some of the announcements, and again, with a little bit of context along the way. If you do have interest, or you do have questions about the Upland meetup for the East Coast in Philadelphia, the weekend of the 27th, 28th, 27th, 28th is when we have official events, but that weekend, inclusive of the 29th, let me know. Love to get you more information. Otherwise, looking forward to seeing tomorrow. If we follow old traditions, we always say, going back to the cafe, That's where everything started. Please feel free to unmute your mics. The floor is yours.